Hello everyone, this is Zach, and I have a little fishy story that I want to show you. On Christmas Eve, NASA has released the footage that they've been observing a comet that will pass by Earth, and they call this footage here. I'll show this for yourself. Radar images of a Christmas Eve asteroid, an early gift for astronomers. As if people want to be scared shitless that an asteroid might hit Earth. But what I came across is this other footage that came out on December 28th, which was 3 days after NASA has released this footage, and this is from RT. From what they are saying, that there is two comets coming our way still, and what it seems like is that NASA is just trying to make us feel okay with an asteroid passing by Earth, and I don't think we should be fine with that. And I don't think they should just release photos and tell us that there's gonna be a comet that's gonna pass by us within a few hours. And what are we gonna do then? So what I have here is the footage. I'm gonna show you proof. The first one was it's the NASA government website, which I cannot make this up. You can look it up yourself if you want. This image, quite frankly, looks a lot similar to what RT showed, and I'm gonna show you how they resemble. Just give me one moment. Let me pull them up. Alright, so this is a picture of that comet, right? And then this is the orbit of that comet. As they say, this was how close it would get to Earth. Saying this is the comet, this is Earth, and it would pass by. It would just nearly miss it, they say, or it might collide. I don't know what kind of thing that is to tell the public. But anyway, this was one of their featured images, and this was the images on only one comet that they've been observing, showing each date on how they're orbiting throughout space. And then there goes another photo, and then they show us where the asteroid is at the moment. This was on December 24th. And then this is the main image, right? Oh, sorry. Okay, so basically this was the main image of the NASA's thumbnail picture, and what you see here is what? It's two comets. It's kind of subliminal, but you see the relation to it once I show you this image. And they're gonna show you almost similar things, and RT is a little
Two
more.
giant asteroids are coming our way right now, speeding through space at 43,000 miles an hour, and one of them is about 2.5 miles wide. It's believed to be the asteroid responsible for the first ever recorded meteorite crash that almost killed a woman 60 years ago. So to talk more about this, I'm being joined now by legal and media analyst Lionel. Lionel, my friend, for this segment, though, I'm going to call you my meteor analyst. So, all right.
And the topics get meatier and meatier.
Well, let's keep our space talk from last week going.
Yeah, yes.
We seldom
From an escapade of
Here
times. Think about it.
Same thing. This is coming from NASA, by the way, the footage. Same picture. Also, two monster asteroids heading towards Earth. Not one, but two.
Where all of a sudden, these weird jurisdictional differences between us.
And also, I just realized if you take a look at the orbital What is this orbit? Here, check this out. This orbit you're gonna see right now, it looks similar to the orbit of Nibiru. We're gonna see it right now. I just caught on to it right here. See what this orbit is right here? Doesn't look quite similar to the orbit of Planet X, Nibiru, aka Nemesis, Elenin Comet, whatever it is you want to call it. So, as NASA has stated that it has already passed us, but now RT News is saying there are two of them, which they are using the same source, the same images that were provided by NASA, giving us a gift of an asteroid, images of an asteroid passing by Earth. I mean, that was supposedly supposed to pass by Earth, and it could either collide or near miss. So that seemed a little funny to me to begin with, and when I saw this, I just put one and two together. And now that I see this right here, it looks even funnier. If you take a look at the orbital structure of Nibiru throughout space, you could tell that this arch right here, this is how planet Nibiru supposedly orbits throughout our galaxy. And they are relating this to a comet, and the Russians called Nibiru Planet X also as Comet Elenin. You could look that up if you want. Okay, guys. So tell me, what do you think about this? Am I a little crazy for assuming that they're lying to us?
Crazy message about, which is the reason I wrote my book Laughing Gas, which was that Britain would face a choice of whether we choose to stay in Europe or cut our anchors at this time. And you might think that David Cameron is pro-Europe, but I don't believe that's the case. I believe he's orchestrated this. He was the one who set up, who brought about the European referendum in the first place. Then you've got Tony Blair, representing sort of like Europe at the moment, while the Chilcot case is going on, which is disputing whether the Iraq war was legitimate. Not that Tony Blair can be prosecuted in this, because he's got immunity from this from the very start. So you've got this person that's representing Europe that we all absolutely loathe. We've got all these characters representing Europe at the moment. Tony Blair was going to be the president of Europe, but was he? In Europe it was an absolute joke. But Rupert Murdoch and all the tabloid papers are making us feel as if we absolutely loathe Europe at the moment, as if we want out. And this is a big part of the whole political play that's happening as a result of what's coming in here. This is much bigger than you're realizing. There's a lot of people truly understand that this thing's coming in and are gearing up for it, and breaking us away from Europe is a very dangerous thing right now, because you break away from all forms of human rights if you do this right now. We head into a situation where we really are on our own, and we know that it's to do this because we are in fear of refugees coming into our country, when we know that these refugees are in many cases fleeing the very bombs that we've actually supplied, and a lot of conflict that we've exacerbated. We know the best solution to this is not to close our borders, but to keep our borders open, but to stop supplying weapons and stop creating wars. We can look and say, did Europe do this? Did Europe do all the crimes that Tony Blair did? Did Europe do all the crimes that David Cameron did? What I consider crimes, invading Libya. I think that was wrong. Just like I thought Tony Blair invading Iraq was wrong. Did Europe do those things? Was that Europe to blame? You know, you've got to ask yourself, did Europe do it? Are you being fooled here? Because guys, I'm not going to be at Glastonbury this year. You know, number one, I haven't. You know, I've been invited to go along and what have you, and get involved in the Gorilla Bar and what have you, which is a big part of what I've done for many years. But I'm not going to be doing the House of Commons because I'm not really welcome to do that. You know, I'm pretty mad at the moment, probably going and soon to be the maddest man in this country. But I cannot contribute to a massive show that's going to be a massive distraction to this EU vote, because I see what they're doing. They're trying to distract you away from it, repulse you away from Europe, and Europe is what you won after the Second World War, after all the lobbying. That's what you finally got, a proportionally run electoral system. And all I can ask you is, if you believe in your heart it is an undemocratic process, can I ask you, hand on your heart, did you vote in that what you call a non-democratic process? Because if you didn't vote, then I can only tell you that what you call was a non-democratic process was simply a non-democratic process for you. Europe didn't do this, guys. Tony Blair, our horrible government, David Cameron, you know, these are all, you know,